Windows Vista, the most hated operating system in the entire world. Well, not like that, but you get the picture. Anyways, yes, this is a video about me installing Windows Vista, but I wanted to talk about Windows Vista a little bit. So, originally Windows Vista was codenamed Windows Longhorn, and the development for it started in 2001, right after Windows XP. And when they tried to create Windows Longhorn, it was supposed to be a sort of a small update for Windows XP, a sort of a halfway point. You know how Windows 8.1 did for Windows 8? Well, it was supposed to be that, but a lot more. It had a lot more changes. In terms of UI, and they wanted to introduce sort of like a arrow look, the sidebar, and a bunch of other cool features. However, they got too ambitious with the features. Not the UI. The UI was going to be arrow again, like I said before. But the features, they had a lot of features that they wanted to add in Windows Longhorn. So when it came down to them releasing it on the deadline, which was supposed to be 2003 or 2002, if I'm not mistaken, or 2004, it was one of those years. They were too ambitious with their project, with the Windows Longhorn development, that when it came down to releasing it during that time, they couldn't. So the project was canceled at some point, or shut down, and then restarted, and then they worked on it again, and they tried to be not tried to be, they were a lot more ambitious this time. They tried to add a lot of features, and they didn't. They cut out a few, not a few, like a lot, I believe a lot of features. They might have not said all of it, but there were some pretty amazing features that they had in mind. But since they put a new deadline on themselves, which was 2007, January 30th, 2007, they stopped, and they were like, well, let's just remove some of the features that we had in mind, and they did that. So yeah, I mean, it we didn't get the everything that we were promised that we're gonna get, but it makes sense. Deadlines. I mean, if they worked on it another 2 years and released it then, maybe then I don't know, we could have the best operating system in the history. I mean, I'm not saying 7 is bad. I'm just saying that Vista could have been the most loved operating system rather than the most hated operating system. But then maybe I'm jumping into the guns pretty fast, because Windows 11 also had a long time for development, and it still sucks. So yeah. Anyways, though, if you want to learn about the development history of Windows Vista, I recommend you guys go and watch Michael MJD's video on it, or other YouTube channels out there. But I mostly watch Michael MJD's video for this, and he explains it a little better and simpler for my tiny ape brain, my negative 1 million IQ brain. So yeah, I mean, if you want to learn the development history of Windows in general, you can watch his videos, and he makes pretty awesome videos, by the way. So yeah, go watch him. And with all that said, I'm gonna install Windows Vista. I'm not gonna show you guys the Rufus part and the how to put it into your USB and all that stuff. I'm gonna cut all that out and just cut into the chase. Just get into the big thing, which is installing Windows Vista, as the title says. But with a twist that I've had, which you'll get into. You're gonna see it. You're gonna find out. Anyways, though, with that said, let's jump in right now. Yes. Also, I do want to say that if you guys really enjoy my content, please subscribe. It really helps this channel, and it really helps me, to make more videos, and who knows, maybe my future videos will be, interesting for you guys, or, you might love to see them. I don't know. So please subscribe, and also leave a like on this video if you liked this video. If you didn't, you can leave a dislike. I mean, you have choices. So here we are. I've put a Windows Vista ISO inside this USB drive. And of course I put the driver pack solution DVD inside the laptop because, as you can see, I can't put it in right now or get it out. But yeah, anyways, let's open this laptop. Oh yeah, I also changed the hard drive, so there's nothing inside the hard drive, so it's gonna manually boot into the USB ISO file. So far, this Windows is loading files. It reminds me of Windows 7's Microsoft Corporate. Oh, that loading also reminds me of. And this kind of looks familiar. The background is different. Wow, the setup is the same? Well, sort of. I'm not seeing the repair button down there, but it's mostly the same, and it's got arrow. Create a partition. And let it do its thing, and so far, before I cut this part off, because this part is the most boring one, the setup looks the same, as Windows 7's. But anyways, we're gonna leave it here, let it do its thing, and yeah, we'll get back into it. Alright, here we are. The installation is done, and the setup is just same as Windows 7. Like, everything that happened, with the installation and everything, it went like as if I was installing Windows 7, which is really just shows you how easy it was to install. What do I name this computer? I'm just gonna do what I did in my previous videos. How was I on password? Random Vista. Oh, you can't put. Oh, you can put. Oh, okay. And then, well, this is not present in Windows 7. You can't choose your picture. Choose a picture for your user account, which I can see why they removed it. People could, go and change it themselves, which is understandable. No passwords, nothing like that. Yeah, I mean, oh, and then you could change the desktop background. These look good too. Oh, that's Japan's. That's in Japan somewhere, right? This is just a picture of a leaf up close. What's this one? Oh damn, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. I wish Microsoft brought these, pictures back. They made, photos like these for, Windows desktop background. Oh, that looks good too. Wow. But I want to see. I mean, this is the default. It looks good. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, sure. Let's go with the default. There it is. But yeah. And that was it. Wow. That was pretty much it. It didn't even restart. Okay. 7 didn't restart either, I believe. I don't know. But it has the same boot up sound. So it just tells you Vista is the first Windows 7. That sounds weird. Basically, 7 is Vista under the hood. Oh wow, that was snappy. And Welcome Center. Windows Vista had a Welcome Center? I didn't know that. Okay, not bad. i7 CPU, 2 GB of RAM, of course. Yada yada yada. That's. Oh, and then we got Windows Index, and it's already rated at 1. It's already rated at 1. So I was right. It does manually. Sorry, it does automatically rate your computer, and mine is 1 because I don't got the desktop performance for Windows Arrow, of course. We don't got any Arrow. That means because our GPU isn't installed properly, which I'll get into later. Oh wow, this feels weird. Oh wait, I like this start menu actually. It reminds me of XP, and at the same time it reminds me of 7. But the icons are different. Oh wait, never mind. The computer icon is the same as Windows 7's. But you know, there are some things that are different. Control panel, for example, that looks different. Default programs, do we even have this in the start menu by default? I don't think so. I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of impressed. You know what I'm gonna do right now is I want to install drivers. So I think I'll get back to you guys after I'm done with installing everything. So yeah, with that said, I'm gonna get into work. So here we are. I finished the Windows update and all the drivers and everything. Well, for the most part, I still need to install the NVIDIA GPU with the NVIDIA control panel. But what I can say about this operating system now that it's in its whole glory with its UI and everything, I'm in love. I'm in love with this UI, and that DVD drive is getting annoying. Anyways, the Arrow glass from Windows 7 is on this operating system and looks pretty good. It really fits. I mean the taskbar, I really love the taskbar. It's got some sort of a arrow-like filter which you can't see, but it just, it's so good. Oh man, I wish Microsoft brought this back. This design, it really looks great. I'm not gonna lie. And oh yeah, we gotta update our Windows Index. Windows Experience Index is unrated. Of course it would be. But yeah, I mean, I'm shocked. It works great. It's snappy and it's only using 804 megabytes of RAM. Not even 2. It's not even using all of our RAM. And this is with Arrow, Arrow and everything. So, I'm gonna go back now. I gotta have to install Microsoft VC Plus and DirectX, and then download some games, and I'll get back to you guys, and we'll have some fun. So, it's been a day. I've set up everything. Finally, Windows Update after installing 213 updates is done, and we're you know, we're done. Like, we're up to the last update that Windows Vista got, and that was back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. And you might be asking, where is the arrow? Why does it look like this? That's because of
Stop it. Get some help.
this. As you can see, the latest update takes a lot of memory, which isn't shocking at all, since it's the same thing with Windows 7 as well. It also, you know, had this update around 2017 to 2020. It was between that time. Windows 7 got an update, and the update was using like 2 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, I don't remember precisely when it was, but I think it was between 2017 and 2020. So, yeah. I mean, I should have upgraded the RAM in this thing, but again, I can't, you know, find the right RAM right now. I'm looking for it, but I will be upgrading this computer to like 8 gigs of RAM. I wish I could do 16, but I don't know what I would do with 16 gigs of RAM in this laptop. So 8 is good enough, at least for, you know, old operating systems like Vista and 7. But yeah, 1.7 gig. I mean, I could try and activate it. I'd like turn on arrow and everything. Just for you guys, activate arrow, please. Oh, this is gonna take a while. I mean, I'm using a 5400 RPM hard drive. Not because I want to, it's because it was the only hard drive that I had that was working. And I had to get it out of my mono laptop just to use it. My main laptop, right? My main computer, whatever. But yeah, this is how it looks. It's pretty good, honestly. Also, why does this keep... NANI? Okay. There might be some updates, but I don't know what they are. I tested these 3 games before recording. Basically off screen I played these a little bit. Grand Theft Auto 4, I first downloaded Grand Theft Auto 4. I thought it would run on this system, since the system is good enough to run it. It runs, but because of the 2 gigabytes of RAM, it's not good. So Max Payne 2 and Grand Theft Auto 3 are gonna be the games that we're gonna play, you know, and they're Windows XP games, by the way, so do expect some minor issues. I mean, with Grand Theft Auto 3 I didn't have any issues. Well, what a shock. But yeah, I mean, I could show you guys the changes from XP to Vista in terms of like control panel. It hasn't changed much, but I would lie that like if I, you know, did say that this doesn't look like 7's control panel. It does look like Windows 7's control panel a little bit, but it also looks like Windows XP's in some ways, but it's much more advanced. So basically it's a combination of Windows XP and Windows 7 is what you can say. And you know, you don't have the option to, you know, change the size of these. They can be small or big, or they can be categorized. I mean, they are already categorized, but you know, like Windows 7 style, you can't do that. I mean, Windows 7 had some option where you could change the way these all of this looks like, but I mean, when it's not here. I mean, I think it's this classic view, right? I just realized that, by the way. Oh yeah, so I see how this works. So basically, when they made Vista, they made sure they also leave this old style of it from, I believe, XP. If I'm not mistaken, XP had this. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, I don't go into control panel as much. It does have a similar, you know, placing like this. Of course, Windows Update wasn't a thing in XP, so this is a new feature. Oh yeah, Vista introduced built-in Windows Update, so another plus to Vista, I'd say, at this point. Because in XP you had to download Windows Update from Internet Explorer, and it was, I think, really annoying. Sometimes it wouldn't work. Sometimes, you know, it didn't show you the updates that you needed. You had to look for yourself. At this point, I'm guessing, but you know, whatever it was that caused Microsoft to make a built-in, create a built-in Windows Update. Kudos to them, but they broke it down. I mean, they made it worse. Like in Windows 10, where it just updates your computer when you're doing something. And it's been like that for like a long time. Anyways, though, in terms of its own games, actually, I actually want to see what there is. Like, I know for a fact, I'm just gonna do that. Oh, it recognizes our games as well. Well, 2 of them. It doesn't recognize Grand Theft Auto 4. Anyways, we got Minesweeper, which is the same Minesweeper from Windows 7 by the looks of it. I'm just gonna go beginner. Is this screen gonna get bigger? Oh, it doesn't. Ah, shock. Well, I wasn't good at Minesweeper, honestly. Yeah. I don't know how this game works, but I would have spent multiple hours on Minesweeper. I swear to God. Like, I spent time on Purple Place, which, like, it's this game, you know, everybody remembers this, right? Like, it looked like this. Yeah, that's how it went with that game. And this game was about making cakes. I mean, I spent a long time playing this game. I would make cakes a lot. Like, I loved cakes. I loved eating cakes back then. So don't blame me, man. I'm not gonna take more any time with this, because it gets boring since you guys aren't playing it yourself. You know, and then you had, you know, what was it called? I don't know what they're called, honestly. This is where you would have guessed what these, you know, people behind the curtain look like, or plushies or whatever. I honestly don't know how this works. The nose is right. Okay, it's this. I'm not good at guessing, but yeah, that's how they went. I mean, I can't believe it. Like, these are, you know, Windows Vista games, and they were in Windows 7. I thought Windows 7 brought these games to like the operating system. Yeah, you know, just for people to play. But no, Vista was the first operating system to bring these games into our lives, into our generation. And then there's Solitaire. I really don't know how to play Solitaire, honestly. Spider Solitaire, I don't know. I mean, the icon looks creepy, as always. It looks the same as, like, Windows 7's. I mean, if I show you guys, yeah, it looks the same. Solitaire looks the same. Spider Solitaire also looks the same. Mahjong Titans? Is that what it's called? Yeah, I would spend a lot of time in this game. But man, this game is one of those long games that's like a pain in the butt to finish. So it might take you an hour, it might take you 2 minutes if you know what you're doing. But it would take me a long time. Now there are some, not some actually. This is the only. No, actually, there's two of them. So there is Hold'em, which I've never seen in my life. What kind of a game is this? Is this? Oh, it's okay, okay. I don't wanna like. I know what that was. I know what that was. What's Inkball? Oh, what is this? What do? You wait a minute. Oh, that's what it is. You just draw so the ball could go to the direction that you want it to go. That's actually nice. Why did they remove this though? It's fun. What a game. Really? Oh god, I just made it worse. No! Oh, okay. Ah. Okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, this ball is going slow. Okay. So, I see how this works. I wonder why they removed this. This actually is a pretty good game. I know you got Chess Titans. Basically the same game. Like the same version as the one in Windows 7. I don't have to play this game. You guys know how it works. It's chess. Everybody plays chess. Well, not everybody, but yeah, you get the picture. Free Cell looks the same. Like, there isn't much going on there. Oh, I called it. There is still update. I might as well do that in the next few hours because it took a day for all this to finish. It's basically the next freaking day. I'm not gonna continue updating because it took a long time. What else can we look? I mean, you could look at no, actually, you know what? Let's look at the personalized settings. When I saw this first time, I was like, this is weird. Like, where is the display settings and, you know, why is there only personalized? Because personalized is kind of different how it works in Windows 7. When you click personalize, it shows you a window where you could change themes only, like themes and the arrow color and Windows sound and, you know, the screensaver and of course the desktop background. And the display settings was its own thing, or it is its own thing now, today. Like, it has been since Windows 7. Like, it's right here. It's not here. But yeah, themes on the other hand, let's see. I mean, we got Vista. I mean, it's kind of like XP's. Yeah, it's kind of like Windows XP's theme settings, where you could, you know, download or browse something in your computer that was like a theme file and apply that instead, and it would all look different. You don't have this in Windows 7, or at least we don't have it the way that it is in Vista anymore, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I haven't changed Windows 7's theme in a long time. Desktop background, I actually want to know what we got. So I believe the ones that we saw were these ones. I mean, we didn't see this. I wonder how it looks now. Oh, that looks good. And then we got this, which looks good, honestly. Not gonna lie. Then we have like there's a bunch of of pictures, like desktop backgrounds. They all look so good, by the way. Like, I wonder why Microsoft doesn't make any more of these. Like, there was some life in these pictures, you know. Is that a fish? That's a fish. And that looks great. I haven't seen any of these at all, honestly. That's a bridge. Where the hell is that bridge? Oh, this actually looks great. Damn, dude. Why did Microsoft, like, not keep any of this? This actually looks good. Oh, this is kind of like the default theme, except it's kind of like there's a transparency effect on top of it. That looks nice. Like, these are kind of I understand what they were going for. It's kind of like this. Oh wait, never mind. They also have the black white. Damn, that looks good, by the way. Whoever took that picture, damn man, you had some good photography experience. Not gonna lie. But yeah, black and white there. They, you know, it makes sense. This was during the period where Arrow was, you know, Arrow Fruitager looked. Sorry, it was popular with a lot of people. Nowadays, people, you know, just want something simple, you know, and, you know, simple in terms of Windows 11's UI. You get what I'm talking about, right? No offense to people who like that, but to me, I really love the Arrow more than what you like. But that's, you know, my opinion. And you do whatever you want. So I'm not gonna say much. I'm not gonna even, you know, hate you for loving your, you know, simple UI. But anyways, let's play a game. Let's start with Grand Theft Auto 3. And yeah, as you can see, Grand Theft Auto 3, it works well, at least to my understanding. And I'm sorry about the screen looking bluish. It's just the way it is. Let me lower the audio. There we go. So, not a good game to benchmark on Windows Vista, but sadly when I have 2 gigs of RAM, it's just, it's disastrous to run anything as good as Grand Theft Auto 4. I mean, I could show you guys an example. I mean, I could run Grand Theft Auto 4 just so you can see how horrible it plays out. But yeah. Grand Theft Auto 3. Also, I want to do something that I always do when I play Grand Theft Auto 3. And gone. No more wanted level. Bug off. But yeah, I mean that was Grand Theft Auto 3. I'm gonna go with Grand Theft Auto 4 and just show you guys how bad it is. Alright guys, we're right here in Grand Theft Auto 4. I actually lowered the graphics to everything low. It was pretty, you know, the texture quality to low as well. It was in, it was on medium. Sorry, high, medium, off, and this was at 16x, and all of this was at 20, and it was stuttering. So I turned all of them off. I'm gonna turn off VSync as well. And the game works better now, probably because there isn't much to do. Everything, because everything is at low settings. But yeah, I mean, it plays Grand Theft Auto 4 pretty fine. And the thing is, Grand Theft Auto 4 belongs to the Windows Vista days. It's just, I think if you play Grand Theft Auto 4, if you had to play it on any operating system, it would be Vista, because it came out right before Windows 7 had released. So yeah, I should have just played this game. Damn it! If I had known that lowering graphics would fix the memory problem, at least a bit of it. It still lags and stutters because of this RAM problem, but other than that, it's pretty good. And I crashed because I can't drive well. I'm looking at both my phone and the laptop, both of their screens, just to make sure everything's fine. But yeah, this game plays pretty well, not gonna lie. On a GTS 360M, this actually is good, not gonna lie. This is way better than the 9600 GT. I don't know why I think that, but whatever. Man, I love this game. I do want to play this game again. Like, look at that realism. Like, she died from that single, you know, oh, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Oh god. Never mind. I'm out of here. Oh god. I didn't expect that to happen. Okay, this game has some problems, but it's at least way more realistic than Grand Theft Auto 5. And I'm not saying I hate Grand Theft Auto 5. I actually played the game not so long ago on the CRT monitor just to get that CRT experience. But I do want to play Grand Theft Auto 4, even if it's on the CRT monitor. Where? Oh, they're here. They're here. Oh boy. Oh boy. But where are the ones with the shotguns? Oh, they're here. Oh, they're here. Oh boy. Oh, they're here. The M4 guys are here. Well. Okay, got him. Ooh, that takes a lot of health, honestly. Alright. Any one of you? Any more of you? Was it only the two of these guys? I'm gonna drink. Oh wow, what is that performance? Yeah, I don't know if I should blame the RAM or the GPU at this point. But then again, Grand Theft Auto 4 was a very unoptimized game. Even when it came out, nobody could run this game properly unless you had a good computer like a GTX 295 and possibly a good CPU. I don't know if you needed more than 4 gigs of RAM, but I'd say 8 would have been good. Oh, there he is, the man himself. The pop action shotgun officer. Oh god. Oh, that was close. Do I want to escape? No, I really don't want to escape. Let's end it in a good way. Look at this glitch, fellas. Why can't I? Oh no! I couldn't shoot. I couldn't shoot. Oh, what a tough luck, man. Oh my god, dude. Like, look at this. It just falls. Then you do this to the rest of them. Like, look at this. It's so funny. It's like, it's not the same. The same animation play. It's a real, you know, physics. physics. And then look, I take out my gun, and they just run away. Like, you didn't have this in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. This was like impressive to me and really funny, honestly. But yeah, I mean, that was Grand Theft Auto 4. Didn't expect to run that game today. Somehow I did with low settings. And now we have Max Payne. Max Payne 2, of course, not Max Payne 1. Because I feel like this game runs better on, you know, what's going on here? I think Max Payne 2, oh, it's gone. Anyways, I think Max Payne 2 works better with any operating system. It runs without problems, unless we're talking about aspect ratios and a few minor problems that I don't know of. But it works out of the box. I don't know why it didn't open. Oh, it opened anyway. There is a problem with it on Vista that I can't put my finger on it, and that is that whenever it loads, like it does this. Like, you can see this, right? Like, I'm not making this up. Like, this happens. It swaps between the previous thing that it was running and the loading screen for some reason. My favorite game is this game, Max Payne 2. Max Payne 1 is also my favorite, but, you know, when it comes to, you know, how they place the enemies and everything, I feel like Max Payne 2 wins. Max Payne 2 is truly a good successor to the original game. It also has one of the funniest Havoc physics engine. Like, what the frick was that, man? It's so funny. I love it. Too bad I don't have an automatic gun. This was going to be much more fun. By the way, I also recommend you guys play Max Payne 1 and 2 if you haven't. It's a timeless gem, these two games. Max Payne 3 I also recommend, but if you want to put yourself into unskippable cutscenes, which wasn't a thing in the original, the two original games that was made by Remedy, it's up to you, man. I mean, if you love to do that, oh yeah, you can see the problem. You can see what I'm talking about. So this doesn't happen in Windows 7, but it happens in Vista. I don't know why that's happening. Honestly, I really don't know. In XP and 7 it's fine, but in here it looks like that. I don't know why. I got the engram. So that means... Look at this. Look at this. Like... That was so funny, dude. Like, if I had more ammo, like, I could shoot them in the freaking air in this, you know, bullet time. Like, the bullet time is that broken in this game. Because of the physics engine as well, by the way. But yeah, I'm gonna skip the cutscenes because I don't want to spoil much of the game. Even though I already have. I don't know what's the point of continuing. Oh boy. I think though the voice acting and cutscenes and the story is just pretty good in both Max Payne 1 and 2. Max Payne 3 had a decent story, but not a Max Payne story if you ask me. Not in the way I wanted it. I mean, it was written by Dan Houser. You know, Max Payne 1 and 2 was written by Sam Lake. And the third one was written by Dan Houser. So it makes sense why it was not the type of Max Payne story that I was expecting. But I gotta say, you can also die in this game. Like, look at that. I am low on health. Where did he go? Am I imagining things? What the hell? I swear to God, I'm imagining stuff, right? Anyways, I'm gonna cut it off there. With Max Payne. But yeah, I mean, I wish I could play more games to show you guys that it works fine. I mean, Max Payne 2 is, I guess you could say, one of those games that wouldn't work the way it should with the aspect ratios and everything in the on Windows Vista. But yeah, I mean, that was all I had to do, or sorry, all to show you guys of Windows Vista. And honestly, I haven't experienced anything bad. But you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna daily drive this for at least 2 to 3 days. Run some games, and if possible, maybe upgrade the RAM of this laptop finally to get some good performance out of it when it comes to gaming. And who knows? Maybe I'm gonna get some blue screen of death, and you know, I'm gonna criticize Vista just like everybody else. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, though, I guess I'll update you guys in a few days. So it's been a while, but I did some things behind the scenes that you guys didn't expect me to do. So what I did was I installed Windows Vista on a computer that I had lying around, and inside it I changed its CPU to the weakest CPU that I had around, well, lying around, which was the AMD Athlon 64 3000 Plus. And also I lowered my memory to 2 gigs of DDR2. And I used the GT210 to play these games, and it was the weakest GPU, the only weakest GPU I had lying around that was weaker than my 9600 GT. And it had the same level of performance as, you know, the GPUs from that time period, you know, the 2000s, the early, mid to late 2000s. Well, not 2009, but you know, you get the picture. I didn't have a 7200 series GPU. I didn't have a 7000, 6000 NVIDIA GPUs. So yeah, I mean, that's that. I installed Windows Vista and ran it, and I was like, well, everything looks great. I even tried some games. I surfed the web, even though the CPU isn't good for that stuff anymore. Again, the Athlon 64 3000 Plus has only single core and a single thread. If you didn't know, now you know. And everything was smooth. And honestly, if I didn't surf the web and I just was like playing video games back in the day with this CPU and this much RAM and a GPU that was period correct, honestly, I wouldn't notice any sluggish, any you know, bloated, sluggish, like I wouldn't notice anything like any slow performance or anything like that. Like nothing would be unresponsive or slow, you know. But when you think about it, I mean, sure, back then the internet wasn't that popular. We didn't have cell phones, you know, smartphones actually, not cell phones. We didn't have that many people using internet, so a system like this would have been suitable for someone who wasn't using internet, who was using their optical drive to install video games and everything, play them online, offline. They wouldn't have any problem. And I didn't get any blue screens of death. I honestly tried so many things, but I couldn't get this computer to blue screen. And you know, I can explain why this didn't happen. And that is that Windows Vista, when it came out, people were using very, very weak hardware. And those very, very weak hardware were like Pentiums with like 800 or 400 megahertz speed, which was really lower than what Vista needed, which was 1 gigahertz, 1 gigahertz CPU. People were using 512 megabytes of RAM, or 256 megabytes of RAM, or 64 megabytes of RAM on their computer, whereas Vista needed more, around 1 gigabyte of RAM. And the GPUs that they had inside their computers was also very old. I'm not surprised, because AGP was still a thing at this time. Well, kind of, sort of. People were using it, the consumers, the people who had their computers for a couple of years now. So they had like a 32 megabyte, 64 megabyte VRAM GPU, or even lower actually, 16 megabyte. That exists, I'm not joking. That was the thing. It wasn't like today where people are using like their great i7s, 12th gen i7 or 11th gen i7, or their Ryzen CPUs, Ryzen 5000, Ryzen 3000, Ryzen 7000, whatever, you get the picture. Those hardwares aren't going to get obsolete. We're talking about the 2000s, by the way. In the 2000s, hardware was getting obsolete every year. Every year. Like, if you bought a Pentium 4, then expect that Pentium 4 to be obsolete in the next 2 to 3 years, or even 1 year. Like, there was that instance with some hardware becoming obsolete, and the GPUs were one of them as well, by the way. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna say, well, random, why did these people install Vista on their weak computer? Well, that was because people never researched about components, the components in their computer. We're talking about people that weren't into computers, and computers were just a thing that they used to type some things, watch some movies that they bought, and play some games. And the thing is, the ones that didn't have that much of a terrible experience. I mean, sure, there was still the driver's problem. Yes, the drivers manufacturer, the manufacturers that made the drivers, they also did some things that was stupid. And that was, well, they gave you the drivers, but they also installed some useless stuff that wasn't theirs, that was from other companies, that made your computer bloated. Yes, that's what they say. That's what my research found. Windows Vista wasn't bloated. It was the drivers that we were installing at the time that was bloated. So yeah, I mean, that's all there is to it. And at the end of the day, I think Windows Vista was really misunderstood, and it was ahead of its time. It innovated in a lot of ways, and it forced the driver manufacturers to truly optimize and unbloat their drivers, so that you could get only the drivers and nothing extra on the side that would make your computer slow. And as for Vista's legacy, over the years, people have went back to using Vista, to see if it was really bad, and people have come into the conclusion that Vista was ahead of its time and was misunderstood, and like I said before, the hardware that they were using was just terrible. So yeah. But again, if you were talking about if there could be any fixes for it at the time, well, they tried to fix Vista, and by the time they did, they solved the problems, the issues, the instability, the blue screen of death, and everything. Windows 7 had already released. And yes, I know Vista Service Pack 2 released in the same year as Windows 7, but at that point, when Windows 7 released, people were good with just using 7. They actually switched from XP to 7 instead. The ones that didn't switch to Vista. And the ones that did switch to Vista and then downgrade to XP, they switched to 7 because they thought 7 was much better. So yeah. And also, the thing is that Windows Vista introduced the multiple editions, which at the time when it came out, it was head scratching and it was, confusing to say the least. And people were angry at Microsoft for this. But when Windows 7 rolled around and it also had multiple bajillion editions, people were forgiving. And, the thing is, at that time, people tried to, use the best edition that they thought was, suited for them. Which for me, it always was Ultimate because it gave me every feature. Anyways, though, what do I think about Vista? Well, when I was young, I did use Vista. And I'm talking about the year 2009. So at that time, Service Pack 2 had released, and my relatives had a Windows Vista computer. And I used it. I didn't get any blue screens of death. That's the thing. I played some games with it. Some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Batman Arkham Asylum, and that's pretty much it with those games. And I only played 2 games. But I didn't get any blue screens of death. They didn't get any blue screens of death, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I was 3-4 years old at the time, or 5. I really, I was around those ages. I didn't have any problems. They didn't have any problems, as far as I remember. But I didn't have any problems. And the thing is, the hardware that they were using was like a Core 2 Quad, Core 2 Duo. So it makes sense why it didn't crash at the end. And the GPUs that they were using were, not NVIDIA, I think. It was AMD, because AMD was really popular where I lived, for the most part. But yeah, Windows Vista will forever be remembered in the history books as one of the worst operating systems. Well, to some extent, if they ever write it down in the history books of in the computer history book. But if that's not the case and it's remembered as the operating system that was ahead of its time and was misunderstood at the time, then thank you, whoever's gonna write that computer history book or whatever. Or has it been already written? I don't think there is anything like that. Maybe there is. Maybe I don't know. But anyways, in my opinion, Vista was pretty impressive. And I feel like if hardware was really cheap at the time, like it was after Vista came out, like 2010 to 2018, then people would have used Vista regardless of how much they had to pay for a hardware, But back then, hardware did cost a lot. Like DDR2 RAM cost like $200 or something. Like it was very expensive back then. Like, we all say, oh, it's very expensive that we have to pay $2,000 for an RTX 5090. Well, let me tell you this. Back then, you had to pay a lot more for building a whole computer. Like, there was times in the 90s and the 2000s that you had to pay around 5, maybe even 7 grand if you were really looking for the highest end components, accessories, peripherals, monitors, and everything. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. And if you didn't, leave a dislike. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. I said that very wrong. Basically, if you enjoyed this video, leave a subscribe and leave a like. If you didn't, unsubscribe. There's always that. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.